gonna come up. Well, hi, Gen X, Gen Z, millennials, and everyone. Um, I'm just going live as my most of my videos anyway, so I'm unfiltered, unedited, all sorts of things, and anyone pops up in the meantime and wants to talk to me, also good. In particular, right now today, I don't have any special subject to focus on, other than so pardon. I am so blown away by the amount of responses, comments on my video about the Gen X and Gen Z conundrum. I must say, for the most part, some of these videos, as much as I seem to be really serious and, um, focused or passionate about the subject, I'm definitely passionate about all these subjects and very honest about them. The thing is, I am trying to be a little bit humoristic, so it's kind of funny when some people take it a little bit too literal. And then I'll point out, for example, a comment that, in a sense, it was a funny thing when people don't really follow what is being said in the very detail, but also like completely missing the context and the message itself. So they're basically trying to attack the messenger instead of the content. So that's kind of funny. Um, just I won't be bothered really if people like that can't figure it out. Then it's okay. Like, why should I? So yeah, I've really been blown away by this. Like, I don't know. It's feeling of love and family and unity from people all over the world, and it's not just about which generation. It's really about that more broader aspect of like we're really all connected. Never mind who you are, how old you are, where you come from, what language you speak, what you believe really. I mean, I've been around the world myself. I've met people of all walks of life and religions and statuses and stuff. It really didn't matter because we're all like kind of similar, like it doesn't matter how many times you want to change the concept of your words and beliefs, but how our bodies and brain works and consciousness and all that stuff that we cannot explain is what really unites us, and we're really here like a one big family. Yeah? So yeah, I was really blown away surprised by the fact that people noticed and the people appreciate what I wanted to say with it. So thank you all. Really, it's especially in these days, like I've had very good few months of recovery. Then after this recent conundrum with the social services again, it was really not very pleasant to be me. Um, Life itself is proving that when you think you can't lose more than you've lost already, you can still lose more. Sometimes it's about people you really care about the most, and I'm not talking wives and stuff, but um, even situations in life push you to the point where you think it may be best for everyone and for the kids to not even be involved around their lives until they are big enough to make their own decisions, to see who is deceiving them, and who has been honest with them the whole life and what's going on, and then when they're old enough to come and make their own decisions and see what's what and discuss. Because it's not my first time, unfortunately. Like I said before in some videos, 4 children, the first one from the first marriage, and I had much better and higher hopes for that lady to raise the child better, or at least what she was saying was gonna be. But I'm not accusing. There's always good and bad apples on the both sides. There's always gonna be something going on that parents can't really explain to themselves, where they're making mistakes and stuff. So there's no accusation, but the thing is, let's let's put it this way: when the lessons I've learned in these few months and, well, more than a year after the separation, is that when you're entering a relationship with someone, which is either a friend or a partner, intimate partner for life, so many different expressions or concepts or perceptions you want to have, um, you should always really pay a lot more attention to what people are actually doing instead of what they are just saying. And on top of that, really pay attention to how your body feels when you're around them. Personally, I was not in touch with that part. So when I intuitively felt there's a lot of wrong in the background story of my partner and and her family and so on, without going too much into the detail because I promised I won't. But the point is, when people are lying to themselves about who they are, what they've been through, um, I don't even think that the motives why they are lying to themselves and why they're lying to others are really important, because the damage that is caused and created by that deniability of their life and reasons why they live like that, why they think, why they get triggered, why they like something, why they dislike some stuff, all of that really will impact in a very much greater scale them, their partners, their children if they will have any, and all this kind of stuff. So before you enter any kind of relationship, well, when you into a committed relationship with anyone, you really should know much better what your boundaries are, who you are, and understand that part of yourself in order to be fulfilled in any kind of relationship, whether it's friendship or partnership. It's really important to focus on knowing yourself better. Then you will also understand what you want and what you don't want, what you're willing to tolerate, what you're not definitely willing to tolerate, and stuff like that. And with people who are deceitful in that sense, they are not telling you the truth, they're not telling you much about themselves and why they are the way they are. Um, it's probably really best to keep distance from the very beginning when you see inconsistencies, when you find them, when you find their words not matching their actions, or even if their words are contradicting at some point. Sometimes people like that will contradict themselves in within few minutes, because most of the time they don't really know what they're talking about, and just they're trying to wordplay and outsmart you in ways, by mirroring actually what you already know yourself and what they know about you and stuff like that. So it's really people who are deceitful in a sense that they deny the truth about who they really are also gonna be always playing tricks with you that you can't, as wise as and as smart as you can be, it's not gonna work. So for me, it's like gone to a point where I could only set certain conditions to try and keep kids in an anchored, grounded, and balanced dynamic with myself and the rest of their own other side of the family. But because people don't understand what's cooperation, collaboration, and co-parenting, um, I'm being faced recently with one of those, well, today or the last few days, with those incredibly difficult decisions where you just don't know, do you want to stay around or do you want to create just a bigger distance and completely focus on yourself in life, so when these kids grow up you're going to be prepared to give them enough of safe space and whatever they need to be able to recover from what they're going to go through. So it's just, even though I had so much fun reading the comments and responses to my video in itself, my face looks tired because it is. I am tired because I am, and it's not really sure how I'm gonna approach this all. At least not for now. There's still a lot more I've got to do in the next few days and the next week, with regards to some meetings and appointments with people, and see what their own story is all about, and the social services, of course. But at the end of the day, I knew from quite a long time ago that somehow I walked into a trap which is really hard to walk out of. And when you do try to walk out of that trap, you can't imagine what people like that are capable of doing and saying and twisting around only to get to you, because they've got no one else to feed from. So, um, all I can say, God bless them. Um, and not meaning it religiously, I'm just meaning it from the actual energy perspective. They need a God to save them and bless them, because if they can't do it themselves, then God, I don't know what can help. Um, and yeah, to all the rest of the people and you, my dear friend, thanks for your comments. Thanks, brother. And all your phone calls and checking up on me. Yeah, I'm just really pleasantly surprised on this response. I mean, so many new subscribers in a couple of days that it simply blew my mind off. And I will do my best to, you know, keep delivering for all of us. You know, there's so much more that I want to speak about, talk with the rest of you guys. So I have a Discord channel. Eventually, I'll post up a link and stuff. Also, for, I've seen in one comment or two, people would like to know how, to be there for me, as in like either talking on help me and helping me out, and I really or I accept any kind of help and any kind of offer there is. And also I'm also there for other people who need to talk, because at the end of the day, a lot of us are in similar situations or going through a lot of shit, and who better to support each other than people who are going through the experience itself, because books will never teach you what life teaches you. It's by itself. So yeah, I'm gonna um, open these channels up more, so it's not gonna be so complicated and complex to find them, because I was just worried about the spammers and people with maybe not so mature perception and perspectives on the things and the world, taking maybe some of the stuff also way too seriously or too literal, or wrong. They hear it wrong and they don't understand it well. So yeah, we can all debate that as well. I don't have a problem with discussing with people where we have misunderstandings. Maybe it's because of the language, maybe it's because of something else. As long as we can remain respectful to each other, because any kind of trolling, pointless attacks on character, and all of these kind of things that do not contribute to meaningful conversations are always gonna be um, moderated to begin with, and then if we have to kick people off my servers and chat channels and stuff, that's always going to happen. So yeah, in next few days I'm gonna try to organize this a little bit. I mean, it's not much to do because it's already done, but just to make it more simple, put the links in the bio and all this kind of stuff, and make the link accessible for more people and for a longer period. Um, and yeah, whoever wants to say anything to me or whatever, I mean, I'm very open. Like, I'm really very personal with people from here and far away from any kind of walk of life, really. Because if we can't talk to each other regardless of the differences we have, um, all of us are eventually gonna end up alone and miserable. That is the fact. And social media by itself, it's great because it helps us connect on a much more massive scale and see that the world is actually a lot of good, and there's a lot of good people. There's loads of love going on around. But to be honest, I do have some ideas how people can also use these kind of platforms to find each other offline and support each other and create these kind of brotherhoods, families, sisterhoods, maybe even finally those kind of relationships that can actually work out for people and stuff. Um, yeah, I think Age of Aquarius is already here, right? um, hey Connor, um, England, England. I would say maybe you mean like UK, but look, there is no specifics like United States, Netherlands, Europe, UK. I mean, technically, the way things are going, we can only speak about the world itself and humanity as a whole. Um, and it's not like disrespecting people's culture and tradition and what they want to do and their beliefs. That's totally not what I mean. It's like, it's not this globalist idea where we all have to be the same. No, it's like actually having a proper respect for the real diversity, where we are still on the same planet and we're still humans built kind of by the same neuroscientific and biological structure, which is undeniably similar to all of us. So, yeah, I think if you want to say that something is disappointing or that something is inspiring, it's pretty much the same everywhere. And that's why it's really good to set the differences like Gen X, Gen Z, and all of this stuff a little bit aside and just try to figure out first who the hell you really are, because a lot of people, and including myself, we kept identifying with stuff that is really has nothing to do with us. It's just systems of beliefs that were imposed on us. You know, either it's work hard or law of attraction or something else. Whatever it is, it's always something to distract you from actually feeling and being your true self. There is no magic secret books anywhere about figuring who you are other than feeling it and really not overthinking what that means, because the body tells you, do you like it or do you not? Are you afraid or are you not? And then if you are a person who wants to face your fears, you know, just try to do it in a way that's not gonna mess you up and end your life. And even then, I did skydive. There's nothing bad in risking pretty much everything, because at the end of the day, we're all gonna end up the same way when it comes to this body and this life cycle. Never mind what you believe, but I don't think that death is the ultimate end for all of us. And to be honest with you all, 2,597 is the dates. Yeah, well, the dates and the illusion of time and all of that stuff. To me, it was always funny how the Romans could have known to count backwards right to the point of where the Jesus was born. I mean, like again, people were gonna go and open the Bible now and try to tell me how to make sense of it. Of course, I won't agree, or we can agree to disagree. That's not the point. But I think the calendars and the whole concept of time, especially being linear, is quite mind-boggling to me, to be honest. Yeah, it's not just advertising. It has been. I think that the world has been put to sleep somewhat at the peak of the industrialization itself, and when we had the first like media houses and stuff like that. So um, I think for the most part, like the way the society is structured now, and structure of power and all of this stuff has been quite meticulously and carefully planned and executed over a few millennia. It's not just about wild conspiracy theories, but you can see that even the powers that are still on right now kind of at war with each other, but when it comes to the economic interests between themselves, they're always working towards the common goal. So it's that's the whole divide and conquer politics and ideology that has been controlling the masses for as long as we have been civilized, in my opinion. Yeah, well, capitalist or anything else. I mean, look, communism or other solutions are basically repackaging of the same old with something different, where um, the same, well, more or less, the same kind of families and structures remained in power over centuries, to say the least. So, and people saying, like, of course, you can't say that it's your fault for getting indoctrinated, but to say that, like, you know, I don't know, from my own experience, 95% of people were aware of pretty much what's going on, that something is not right with the whole picture of reality itself. But everybody says that you can't do anything about it, like you're helpless as an individual. Well, is it an indoctrination, or are you just really, you made a decision to be helpless and to just do nothing? And it's not about starting a revolution and going and rioting and stuff. It's about being your true self, honest with yourself, and not being afraid to at least speak up. Words are also actions, words are energy, thought is an energy. And if you actually put any action into all of that stuff, then yeah, ripples in the reality, right? Yeah, well, dumping down of people, definitely. Like I said in before, like if you go back into some of my old stuff here, I worked in the media. I'm so sorry, but I didn't work in the content part. So I was on the engineering and technical systems engineering and architecture stuff. But either way, I was working as an enabler of this industry, and yeah, it's horrible. The TV industry itself, the entertainment industry, that is just horrible because it's total brainwashing machine by itself. And you know, in order to really free yourself, you just gotta switch it all off. Same with the social media. Like, try not to be a consumer, which is difficult for all of us. I mean, obviously I'm not able to see what's going on around with and then respond with my own videos if I'm not following, but make sure that you don't become distracted to a point where this is everything and all of your thoughts are formed around what is going on in the square boxes, because experience is really just out there behind my back and in the greens and the woods and in the water among the animals and other people and family and friends and stuff like that, you know. I mean, your own enlightenment is gonna be your own journey. There's no such thing as politicizing who we are. Yeah, and that really goes down to sexuality, gender identity, and your personal identity, about the concept of who you really think you are. Because if you can answer that question, congratulations. Um, at the end of the day, I really like to follow a lot of neuroscience and really complex subjects. And to be honest with you all, if anybody wants to prove to me that the reality is not simulated by itself, including with ourselves and our brain, go ahead, because there's an amazing group of mathematicians who have proven exactly otherwise, that we, in fact, we are highly likely just pixels in someone's imagination. So, yeah, if you try and figure that out, you're gonna figure out that, yeah, in this case, really, why anything is possible, why our imagination creates so much in our reality. Look through the history of humanity, where people imagine stuff, and when then what the rest of us through generations create through that. That's basically how it works. It's kind of like a process, but when you look at it from the perspective of the person who imagined it first, it's called crazy magic, right? Um, More importantly than what you believe from others is really what you believe from a cycle of your own being and your own life. And yeah, there is a creation, and call it universe, call it God, call it whatever you want, but there's no stupid reason why speed of light is a constant to a certain extent. It's still a variable, but that's depending on other factors. If you look at speed of light itself without other disturbances, it's a constant. Why? We live by certain rules that, let's say, physics and stuff, the laws of physics that cannot be broken. But we know by looking at the fabrics of reality itself that those laws do not exist. So reality in itself might be just singularity, like the whole universe could be inside a black hole or simulated holographic projection, whatever you want to call it. So the point is, everything is energy. Your energy connected with everyone and the divine, and more than just that. So use your power and stop overthinking about most of the illusions that we were taught to be attached to. So our freedom is our responsibility. Everything else is a story that we make up so we can survive in this reality, because it's very limited to our perception, right? No, I'm not from United States of America. I'm from Europe, so I'm from like a country that's used to be in ex-Yugoslavia. Um, and I think that in terms of the freedom, yeah, Americans, I think, still have a lot more freedom than the rest of the world. That's something I must agree with. Dark matter is probably a concept that it doesn't make any sense to me, because ether, so like universe in itself, is not vacuum and not empty, and there's a lot more to this. I think we're just like still with the scientific explanations themselves of the whole existence, we're not going to be able to get there, because what is observable universe compared to the rest of the existence? Just even the Big Bang itself is a bit of I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. When I look at the whole symbol of yin and yang, and how the whole energies and how universe itself and the physics and stuff, really just observing nature itself, how stuff behaves, there's really no end and no beginning. Everything is symbiotic and harmonic between forces of life and death. One does not exclude the other, so basically both together are one. That's what the creation is, and it's balance. Same thing is, for me, people try to say, oh look, sometimes you're so full of love, and sometimes you're that demon with a heart and a soul. But it's not about darkness or light, it's about the actual balance and harmony, being myself, expressing my feelings the way they are, not hurting people if I can. But it's not always possible. Some people are so hurtful that all they are gonna get back as a reflection of themselves is pain, because you might say them beautiful things, but they won't believe, and they will think you are the one manipulating and deceiving them, because that is the reality. Um, you question three dimensions and there are only two. No, there's quite many dimensions. Because if you look at the mathematics and stuff, I mean, for me, mathematics is quite the universal language of nature and everything. There are many dimensions. But I think the point of like being limited to the three-dimensional worlds where our mind is multilateral is definitely something that people should try to deep dive. And it's like whether you need to meditate or take psychedelics, whatever it is. I mean, whichever it helps. There's a lot of ways. It can be breathing exercises by Wim Hof. There's, I don't know, sometimes just dreaming gets you there. Yeah, everything is definitely connected. Sound, light, all of this stuff is just one spectrum of energy. So, sound is a spectrum of energy, light is a spectrum of energy, radiation is a spectrum, another spectrum of energy. So, basically, more like invisible light. The sounds we cannot hear, ultrasound, infrasound, stuff exists we cannot even see and smell and hear, but it's there, and it's all basically part of the whole vibration as a universe itself. It's kind of like some of these hippie new age concepts are taking this way too far, because it's still a matter of all of our energies colliding with each other and harmonizing and whatever. So if you believe something and you meet another person and they are totally opposite of your beliefs, and they are stronger, more argumentative, and they have better articulation, maybe they could be wrong or they could be right. But if a person is capable of destroying your beliefs, then basically your own reality has just been shattered, and you create your own new ripples in your own universe. So that's why it's really not so simple to just, let's say, sit back and create an apple out of nothing in your hand. Although theoretically that's also possible, because quantum mechanics and physics, why not? So yeah, that's pretty much a lot of things. When the Buddhists were saying everything is an illusion, we are creating our own illusions in our mind, because the mind by itself, without the harmony of the body and the feelings and everything that we are, that makes us us, is the ego, tiny ego part. But ego and superego and subconscious, plus what we call the soul, or our electromagnetic body, That's our us. That's who we are. That's our holistic self. So for me, I think I can answer who I am, but again, that's not an answer that you say with a name, a job, your past, and whatever mistakes or achievements you've made in your life. This is just our journey, the lessons we learn. For for me, what I would say who I am is a part of this greatness that we all are, a part of the divine that we all are, and that's within all of us. So find your tune, find your own frequency, find your own beat, shine your own light, do what really ticks your heart, ticks your bone, resonate with yourself. And as I can see from the rest of you guys just popping around here and blowing my mind with responses to my videos, yes, you start your beat, you start your frequency, being honest with yourself, putting that out, we start to connect with each other, those who resonate, and those who don't, well, the best things we can all normalize is to accept the fact that there are people who are gonna be always stuck in their own reality, no matter what we do, no matter how much objectivity we can present to them. So, oh, I love Alan Watts. So many times I will just put a video or something in the background when I go to sleep and listen some of the stuff. Neville Goddard is also very good stuff. So not the interpretations of Neville Goddard, but just the original audios. Reading this kind of stuff is also very good. So yeah. But then again, you can listen to Alan Watts or Neville Goddard or any other guru and any other knowledge in so many ways, and you can't really get it until you experience it. So my favorite for this one is when the student and master were walking across the river on the bridge, and the student was asking the master, "Master, can you please tell me how deep is the river of Zen?" And the master says, "Why don't you jump and see for yourself?" There is really no greater lesson, no listening, no audio, no video, no yoga practice itself. Is, well, of course, yes, yoga practice or prayer or all this stuff, that's taking action, but it's really being that observer of yourself instead of doing it here. When you're just pulled into action, whether it's a prayer, whether it's yoga, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing, it just takes you with all your heart. That's exactly the stuff you need to do more. And if something is making you scared, it's exactly the kind of stuff that you should be facing, so you get to know yourself better. So you will know, are you scared because it might put you in danger, or are you scared because it's the kind of thing that you need in your life to improve, grow yourself, and enjoy yourself a lot more? Because, folks, life is all about fun and play. If it's not fun, if it's not playing, if you can't love it, why keep hurting yourself? Why keep struggling for something you would never be able to take in your grave and afterwards with you? There's no point in being extremely rich if you're always gonna be chasing, unhappy, and worried who's gonna take everything you have next. Wealth comes from here. Wisdom comes from combining knowledge and experience together. And the best we can all do is just being yourself. Be kind, be compassionate to others, but don't be a stupid perfectionist thinking that we all have to be like fucking angels. Find balance. Don't trigger people, and if you do, well, take it on your chin. Nobody's gonna have to be always nice to you, and I don't promise to be nice to everyone either. We're all different. We're all differently built. But love yourself first, and then it will come for the rest too. So thanks everyone for like massive amount of responses. I was really like, I couldn't believe it, and I'm so happy that there's so many people that are just there for each other this way and there for themselves, because really I think it's really way more important today to talk openly and be connected and just give no shit about the rest of the clique telling us what to do, how to think, and what to feel. You're you, I'm me. You do you, I'll do me. Together we can create magic and miracles. Cheers everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm definitely enjoying all of your love and responses and stuff. I'll do my best and better for the future, because if I didn't have too much on my plate, I'd love to make this. Somebody commented on one of my other videos on TikTok that I should be doing a startup comedy show. So I might do a startup comedy show. So cheers, all. Love you all. Thanks so much. And see you in the next one.